What's going on, people, and welcome to a new episode of Too Many Games. Yes, I got my do-rag game on lock because that headpiece cannot be seen. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you subscribe, it's really important. Now today I have a gamer that he's not only from the YouTube space, he's also from the PR side. Yes, me and this guy have had some really dope conversations and I'm super excited to talk to him on Too Many Games. Now, his name is Jake. He's got a very complicated surname. I'm going to try and say it, Kulkowski or something like that. It sounds mad. He is a YouTuber, a podcaster. He is in PR. He used to be a DJ. He's from the music world too. Jake, welcome to Too Many Games. How are you doing?
Well, loads better after hearing that. That's like a hell of a gas, man. Yeah. I'm doing very good. Thanks for having me. It's ace to be on here. I've watched every single one, so I feel like I'm ready.
Firstly, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So before we get too deep into Too Many Games, obviously the concept of Too Many Games is talking to gamers around the world about what games that they're playing whilst they're in quarantine. But I'd really like to discuss how we met, because I think it's a really good way to start off the conversation. So do you want to tell everyone how we first met?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy actually. So I kind of live in the middle of nowhere in North Wales, and my very first day in the games industry on the job was at like the MCV Awards, which is the industry awards. Like all the people from the UK games industry are there pretty much, and there's like hundreds of people. So of course I didn't know anybody, and it was my very first day, like Spartan training. Like I didn't know anybody, and of course that means that like I'm not a very exciting person to meet. You know, this is Jake. He's just in the games industry for one day, and do you know what I mean? So everybody was there, and I must have met about genuinely like over 100 people. But I met you there, and you put so much time into speaking to me, and it made me feel like so like, because everybody else is like, oh hey, how you doing? Anyway, getting on with. I felt like I was just a plus one. But I bumped into you, and you had so much time to speak to me, and it was like really crazy that, I don't know, people find so much time for even someone so new in the games industry. And then, after that, boom, I see you on YouTube all the time, and we got a lot of mutual friends, like shout out RX and things like that. And that's that. And then I'm in a position to send keys and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how we met though. It was like a games industry party, like my very first day on the job. So you've been there since day one, truly.
So what I really love is like no shade or no disrespect. I don't even remember our first encounter at the awards, but I emailed you like an introduction when you started your new role at Dead Good Media PR, and you basically explained to me that, oh my god, yeah, of course we can work together. We met at the awards and stuff like that. And the reason why I wanted to start the conversation like that is because we both previously come from the music world, and I find like the music world was quite a toxic environment. I found like it was quite a toxic place, and one thing I love about working in the gaming industry is it's really inclusive. People are really open and really nice, and I think that it costs nothing to be nice to people. And I never ever knew that you was obviously gonna have that position and you'd be able to help me, but just being able to like talk to people about games and interact with are so important. So people are always kind of reaching out to me of, oh, how do you get contacts and stuff like that, and just generally building relationships is so important. And we've been able to, like, we were WhatsApping the other day for about 4 hours just talking about bare different things because of that relationship that we built. And we've built a relationship that is, I'll talk to you about games, and if there's any games that I specifically want that you're working on, you'll send over to me. I'll review anything I can, but we built our own relationship through the love of gaming. And I think it's so important for people to understand that if you want to be in this industry, like, building great relationships with people is super important.
Super important, and the good thing about it is it's kind of easy too, because like you say, everybody, the thing with gaming is it's kind of mainstream now still, but everybody still feels like it's so personal to them. Whereas like music, like everybody likes music, so it doesn't seem as personal. Do you know what I mean? People will talk, like, how many conversations have you had with people about album of the year? Probably not as many as game of the year, because it's still so close to people's heart. Like it's kind of a nice, easy base level. You know, if you're like at a gaming convention, you can talk to anybody because you're all gamers, and I love that still. Like, it doesn't matter what level people are at.
Exactly, I love it. So let's get into it. Too many games. Now, unfortunately, the world is in a disaster. We are on like the back end of quarantine, where people are starting to be able to come out a bit more. You're able to go to the park and socialize, stuff like that. You still got to be following the rules, people. You still got to stay 2 meters away. This doesn't mean having pool parties. This doesn't mean having your gran, your uncle and everyone just randomly cramped into one room. It doesn't mean that. It means you still have to follow the guidelines. But quarantine means that you've got a bit more time on your hands. Now, you've already told me you're super busy, but what games? I was listening to one of your pods and you've been ill. You were sick for a while, so you had some time to game. So what have you been playing whilst the 8 weeks of quarantine has been going on?
So it's been I've had a bit of a rocky relationship with Call of Duty. I felt like it was going all good, but then slowly over time it was making me delete more things from my PS4 because it just gets bigger and bigger. So I've got out of that now. It's gone. I wasn't bad at it, but.
So you specifically talking Warzone or?
Well, it started off on Warzone, and then I thought like, I'd like to play just a regular multiplayer, because I don't think I've played the Call of Duty since Black Ops, actually, Black Ops 1.
Oh,
yeah?
Wow.
Yeah. And so I was like, let's see what it's all about. And I played the campaign, and I loved it. But Warzone, it's good. If you play it with friends, it's good. And, I'm okay. On a scale of 1 to Tiana Mercedes, I'm about a 7. But it's just, it asked me for more and more disk space, and it got to the point where I had COD and Final Fantasy 7, and I couldn't fit any more games on. So COD's gone, and then I just finished Final Fantasy 7 recently, not the platinum, but
I like the way you slipped that in there.
not quite the platinum, but I just did that, and now I've just started that new Star Wars thing, Fallen Order, the Respawn one from this winter.
Cool. So let's break them all down bit by bit. So firstly, going into Warzone, a battle royale, which is obviously new for COD, and you not playing since Black Ops 1, which is like the turn of the century. Like, you must have been about 6 when you played that. How did it feel to be back into the Call of Duty world?
It was good, even though I haven't played COD for a while, I've been playing the Battle Royale games that have been coming out, so it was cool to see like Call of Duty doing it and doing it really well, because a lot of Battle Royale start off like really early access janky, like PUBG and stuff, but this it felt really cool, and I really like what they added to this. Like, the Gulag is so cool, and being able to like just shoot people from the parachutes and stuff is like, it's all good.
So the Gulag is like a meme on its own, and if you watch too many games, that jars me that I'm in my parachute and I'm getting shot. Gets me so vexed.
Yeah. But it's crazy, isn't it? It's quite funny, isn't it? It's like, you can make some good stories out of it, and that's what I like about it. I like that you can buy the teammates back as well, because like, I put loads of time into Apex Legends, and that was my favorite part about Apex, was you could bring teammates back. And I love that COD gives you that, like a couple of times with the Gulag, and then you can buy them. So, yeah, it was cool, man. And like, Call of Duty's still out there doing its thing, but I think that this one has definitely done the best out of the past couple of years, like, by the looks of it. It's like everyone's talking about it again. It feels like it's the original Modern Warfare or whatever. Yeah,
it's crazy that how it's funny, because Call of Duty always sells for even people who are not really into the gaming industry, just people who love games. It always sells for them. But Warzone being free to play has just taken it to the next level, and like you said, them introducing all of the great aspects, because there's some aspects in battle royales and free to play games that are atrocious, and they Activision's been very smart where they've taken all of the best things to make their battle royale.
Yeah. It really feels like I could play it for free, and I don't feel like it's constantly trying to make me spend money, whereas like, that's the thing, isn't it? A lot of games, even though you get it for free, constantly saying buy this, and I like that they've done it. I think they've nailed it. Like, but unfortunately, it's about 1 million gigabytes, so it's gone.
It's crazy. Please tell me you've upgraded your hard drive in your PS.
Do you know what? Yeah, I've got to say this. This is my biggest failing as a gamer. Yeah, I've just still got the base PS4. Right? Yeah, it's done me fine. Like I got the Xbox, like the One S or whatever, for 4K. But yeah, I got my PS4 for like Destiny, and she's done me well ever since. Like I haven't changed it, and we're so close to PS5 now. What's the point? Do you know what I mean?
I've got a 2 terabyte hard drive in mine. Like I couldn't do it, and I'm still deleting games.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a 2 terabyte hard drive, so you'll be good to play COD until the end of June. So yeah.
So Final Fantasy VII Remake, that's my game. I love this game. I don't stop talking about it. What's your relationship with Final Fantasy, and what do you think of the game?
Final Fantasy VII was like the first 3D game I played. I think the first 3D RPG. The first game that I remember. Like, as a kid, I think, when you realise that you're a gamer, is like, when you're a kid, like, you love going outside and running about, but then there's this one game that's the reason that you want to just stay in. And that was the first game, it was like the summer holidays, and I was like, I could go outside, or, and then, so here I am in Cosmo Canyon. So, like, Final Fantasy VII was like that first game for me that set me on that path, I think. So, I've got like a huge love for it, and I played I think I played all the Final Fantasies now, but 7 is my favourite by far. So I was like and I just finished it on the Switch again like a couple of months ago. So I was like, oh, how is it going to be? But I loved it. I loved this game. I really, really think it was amazing. And I don't want to talk about the ending or nothing, but it goes places that I didn't think it was going to go. So it's a winner.
Yeah. The game is incredible, and the thing is, I think it's very hard to be able to, like, nostalgia. People always say, nostalgia makes you love something, but nostalgia can sometimes make you hate something's changed. Because it's like Star Wars. Like, people hate anything that's changed in Star Wars because of their nostalgia for the original. So a lot of people credit as, people only love it for nostalgia, but nostalgia can also make you be so protective of something you don't want anything changed. Like, them taking it from turn-based to real-time is incredible. And like I platinum Final Fantasy 15, and I like that game, but the fighting in it isn't good. But the fighting in Final Fantasy 7 Remake is incredible. Like it is like you just want to fight all of the time.
Yeah. It's I can totally see how people have gone back straight away and done it again, because it's like any chance to be Tifa again or whatever. And like I love that they've all got their own different play styles, because like in the original you could kind of make them all do the same thing, give everybody fire materia, they're all the same. But like Barrett has got his own style, like you need to use Barrett to start shooting people from a distance, and then like Tifa's good at building up the like the stamina bar or whatever it is, the thing that Stagger's done. Like I love that they've all got different play styles. It's like probably one of the coolest fighting systems I've seen, like that I can remember at all. It's so good.
So let's talk about one of the games that you just mentioned that you're going to start from your backlog, which is Jedi Fallen Order. Now, you are a big Souls guy. Like, you like them difficult games. For me, playing them games is like someone getting my head and licking it against a brick wall. Like, Sekiro bullied me. It was like Debo in Friday punching me in my eye and taking my bike away. Like, there'll be times at night I'll be sleeping, I'm like, leave me alone. Like, Sekiro literally bullied me. But I loved Jedi Fallen Order because I think like it was difficult, but it wasn't too hard. And I don't know if that's because of you being able to choose what kind of difficulty level. I just played it at normal, which is hard enough, but it's like nowhere near like a Dark Souls. And if you want that Dark Souls-ish, you go to super hard mode. So firstly, are you going to super hard mode? And secondly, how far are you into the game?
So I started it on normal. I got to the prologue and then I restarted it on hard. So I'm not on super hard, I'm just on regular hard, because I was finding it like, I figured I was gonna burn through it a bit quick, I think, if I didn't, and I want to take my time with it. So I've just finished the first like proper planet. It's like a grassy area, and you like learn wall running in this. But like so far, I can see why people are saying it's a bit like Dark Soulsy, because that actually put me off actually when I heard that, being a big Souls guy, because like everyone says something. It's like the Dark Souls or something or whatever. And normally an imitator is not as good as the real thing. So I was like, I'll wait for the dust to settle. And also, like, the Star Wars movies were just coming out, like the new one. Yeah. So I was like waiting for all the hype to die down, and I can just make my own mind up. So I'm playing it, and then, yeah, it's got like the Estus flask thing where you can heal, and there's bonfires and whatever. So like I'm liking that aspect, but yeah, it seems like it's going a bit more like cinematic, and like there's cool planets and stuff like that. So yeah, I've just landed on this like snowy planet, so I don't know how far I am into it, probably not very, but it's so far it looks amazing, by the way. I'm not like a big Star Wars guy. Like, it's okay, it's not okay, it's good, but I don't live or die off it, you know. It's not like so if it changes to canon, I'm not going to be upset about it, so I'm in a good place to play it, you know. And yeah, so far, like, I like it. The combat's pretty cool. I like that. It is a bit Sekiro, isn't it? Like, time the block, and then you can like get a parry in.
It's definitely more Sekiro than it is Dark Souls.
Yeah, for sure. And I found Sekiro easier than Dark Souls because it's just a timing thing, isn't it? Whereas Dark Souls, like, half of the bad guys you got to just run away from and cry about it. So yeah, like, I like Sekiro more. So I was like, yeah, really, I'm really into it so far, and I want to see where it's going to go, to be honest.
So I really like Jedi Fallen Order. I thought it was a really good game. Like, I'm into Star Wars. I don't think I'm that big of a Star Wars fan anymore. I was back in the days, but not as is. But I love the lore. I love the Jedis. I love the lightsabers. Like, I love all of that. I love the sounds. And I really like the protagonist. I find a lot of Star Wars games are rubbish. I don't like a lot of Star Wars games. And I like that they was like, well, let's just make a protagonist that nobody knows, that doesn't have to be too much into the world, and just kind of live his story. I played it just before release, and one thing that I'm assuming they've probably patched it by now, but really jarred me is there's a lot of kind of Uncharted kind of climbing and jumping and swinging to get ropes and stuff. And there was like sections where you'd be going down like a slope and you got to jump to get a rope, but every single time, like, I would miss it. And I know I wasn't off, and like I was going online and so many people was complaining it, like, it's almost like a fighting game's hitboxes. Like, it's like they put the hitboxes off, and like I would be constantly dying for things like that were really annoying to me. Or like certain times I'll be fighting someone, and then someone would be shooting me, and I would parry it, and either I'm a granddad and my timing is just not good, or like I feel like I always felt like certain things you had to pre-block even before before the shot even got to you.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I felt like. I just did a couple of, like, there was like a hidden boss in this first planet, and like it was like that. Like, I don't know what it is like if you're in the middle of an attack and then you block. I don't know if your guy has to finish the attack before he blocks. So even though you're pressing it, it's like, I felt like you know, with the Souls games, I die all the time, but I feel like it's always fair. Whereas this, like, you know, I'm not normally one to blame the controls, but I was like, this is unfair. Like, I obviously did block that, but my guy just, you know, I mean, he's only training to be a Jedi, so he's got some ways to go. So maybe later on he'll get better at it, but
maybe that's why. Maybe he's just slow because he's a newbie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, so here at Too Many Games, we always complain. Gamers always complaining. Too much games. Not enough time to play them. I'm in quarantine. I got some extra time on my hand. What game do you recommend that I should play?
You know what? Yeah, there's so many. I'm not going to say Animal Crossing because you've already been told. You're already ahead of it. Wolf said Dead Cells. That was a good shout, but he said that, so I can't. So what I'm going to do is, and I know that you don't like them, but I'm going to just try and sway you a minute. I think you should take some time out and do Bloodborne, right? I'll tell you why. I seriously think it's the best game of the generation, and there's a reason why people are saying it. It's the thing about Bloodborne is it's standalone. It's not like a trilogy like Dark Souls, and the story is like cut and dry, but the way that it tells a story is a way that you can only tell a story with a video game. You can't tell it like cinematically. If they made a film of it, it wouldn't work. A book, it wouldn't work. You have to play it. It's so hard to explain, but there's so much going on there. Like, it's good because it's a video game. And even if you're not that good at Dark Souls or Sekiro, give it a go, because it's kind of like driving a car. Like, I couldn't drive a car and I would be like, I hate this, it's bullshit. But it's just because I didn't know the mechanics, and when you get the mechanics down, everyone can do it. I really didn't struggle with Sekiro as much as everybody else, but Bloodborne battered me. Like, Bloodborne was my nightmare. Like, even now, like, that's the hardest one I platinumed, but loads of people online say it's the easiest one by a mile. So it really depends on your style. Maybe you'll find it a lot easier, but I just think that there's not really many games like it anymore, and it's like a horror game at its heart, but it's doing something so clever, and the way that the game turns, like the last half of the game, it is hardly anything like it ever. And I think that I think before we all put our PlayStations to sleep forever and get onto the next gen, this is the one from the PS4 I think people should play, that maybe not everybody has done yet. It is hard, yeah, but, you know, with patience, you could do it. I believe in you, you know?
So I might take you up on it, because Brian from IGN, he's always going on about how much, like, when he started it, he hated it, and then when he understood what to do right, it became his, like, game of the year.
You can level up like any RPG, but if you, like, you know, if you think that you keep running out of stamina, put more points to stamina. So what I mean is that you can cover your own weaknesses and stuff with the level up system. Whereas Sekiro, you either did it its way or you know, head off.
That makes it a lot more intriguing for me. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me on Too Many Games. Before you go, what do you want to plug? What do you want people to look out for? I know you got an amazing podcast. I've been listening.
Yeah, sure. Well, me and my best friends do a podcast every week called Special Moves, and we talk about all the new games that are coming out. If you want to check that out, we're on everywhere that does good podcasts: iTunes, Spotify. We're even on YouTube. Doing a quarantine special at the moment on Discord, but I do that, and for everything else, you can just follow me on Twitter and see me being a miserable dad on the internet at the only Jake ever.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Too Many Games. Now make sure you go in the comments and let me know if you feel as battered as I do playing the Souls type games. What is your favorite from the series? Please make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. There's so many Too Many Games. We're talking to so many incredible people. And there's loads of advice that you can learn as well if you want to work in gaming. I've been Mr. Midas. He's been Jake with the complicated surname. This is Too Many Games.